my name is Lorraine Garvey of District 32, and I'm here with James Bryden, the productivity coach. How are you, James?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you, Lorraine. You're looking
You're
well.
looking well. You're looking well. So I'm going to frame this interview. So, James, you're speaking, you're delivering a workshop for the Pathway to Growth program in May, which we're very, very excited about. You're talking about keeping your staff happy, engaged, and productive. But before then, what I want to do is just get a little bit of an understanding of you before we talk about the workshop. So, how did you end up being the productivity coach, James? Was it because you were just terribly unproductive yourself?
Well, absolutely. I've led a very checkered life in running businesses, and to be honest, I've made just about every mistake that's possible to make in running a business, and ultimately that ended up in bankruptcy. Entirely self-created, and it was at that point when you get down to the lowest of the low that you've got a decision to make, and I made that decision, and that's led me to doing what I do now. So,
wow, okay, that's really fascinating. You know, they say you know anybody until you've at least gone bankrupt once, right, James?
Well, it's funny. It's probably the worst thing I've been through in my life, but you know what? You're faced with that decision. You know, what do I do about it, and what have I learned from it? And that was the key thing: is the learning that I got from making those mistakes, and that's where it's led me today. So I'm actually quite grateful for it.
That's how it works, right? The greatest pain ends up being the biggest lessons in the
well, certainly for me it is, and I've seen instances of that elsewhere as well. And you know, if life is is nice and we're all happy all the time, it soon gets boring. You need challenges, and
that's right.
Probably the biggest challenge you can get.
Yeah. Don't be so comfortable that we're not going to grow. Yeah, get out there and grow.
Yeah, it's there's got to be an element of tension in what you do, and it's really important that people understand that and are they willing to embrace that. If you're not, then perhaps business isn't for you.
Yeah. It's definitely it's not the easy ride to take for personal growth.
No, it certainly isn't. It holds a big mirror up to your face.
Yeah. In a big way. Maybe that's another episode, James. We'll just talk about that for an hour or a week. So yeah. James, what do you do now, though? So how do you help people? How do people work with you these days?
Well, I work with individuals, mainly business owners, but probably I spend more time working with teams, with leadership teams in that sort of space, because there's a lot of not only is a lot of variation in the type of people you get in leadership positions, but there's also a lot of dysfunction. And my job is to get in and help people understand themselves, and then understand their self in relation to other people within the team, and then to work out, well, how are we going to work better? What are we really trying to achieve here, and what does that look like? So in a nutshell, that's what I sort of try and focus on. Yeah.
You're helping teams work better together, and that's layered and layered and layered.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
So, James, you are going to share with the business community the Pathway to Growth program is a really unique experience. Business owners get to have 6 months of learning in a day, and they get to choose their own path, and that they choose the workshops that they're going to go and attend depending on where they're at in their business. So for business owners who are looking for that happy, engaged, productive team, then they're going to be interested in coming along to your workshop. But James, what sort of outcomes are people gonna what kind of outcomes are there for participants who come and see you on the day? What can they expect?
Well, assuming that they employ people is number one. What they will walk away with is a knowledge on how to not only get good people in their business, but also how to keep those good people in your business, and then how to leverage their needs as well as yours in a way that's going to make them want to stay with you, be more loyal, be more productive, and develop as a person.
And look, I think that is just so important because I mean we've done so many surveys over many years on all sides of businesses, and we generally ask, you know, what's your biggest problem in business, and by far people will say staff, as if it's an external problem. Yeah. So I just think, you know, if business owners can get access to this information at the right time, you know, while they're growing a team or before it all goes pear-shaped, you know, it can really make a massive difference on the growth of their business.
Yeah, it certainly can. And one thing I've noticed over the years is that in terms of leadership within organizations, a lot of people get promoted into positions because they're good technically at their work. The classic one is your best salesman becomes your sales manager.
Yeah.
The problem is you've lost your best salesperson and you've gained somebody who probably can't manage people. So there's a lot of people in management positions who lack the skills to be able to manage effectively, and that's an area that I'm quite passionate about.
So James, I think you maybe answered the question for me anyway, but I'm going to ask you just to recap for the people listening. Why is it essential that people come along and see your session in particular on the day?
Well, if they're serious about growing their business, you know, about expanding in terms of the size of the business, the workforce, it's critical to understand the process that they need to go through to build a really good, effective team. You know, is it going to be perfect? Probably not, but they'll be a long way down the road compared to most other people in terms of understanding, you know, the needs, wants of not only their organization, but also the people that work with them. And
I think it's just important, James, because we're not taught this in school. We're not taught this when we go into business. You know, this is what you do, and this is how to develop people, and this is how to relate and connect and manage. You know, we just don't wing it, right? We're straight on the pitch.
Exactly right. Exactly right. You know, so, you know, just getting to grips with the fact that it's a two-way street. You know, it's an exchange.
Yeah.
Fully understand that, and that there are accountabilities around each one of those and what they are, then you're ahead of the game.
James, thank you very much. I'm super excited to come along and see your presentation on the day. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with the small business community, and I look forward to seeing you on the day.
Yeah, thank you very much. Looking forward to it too. Very much.
James, see you later. Bye.